so weary, mind and body tired and heavy. Almost always up we try to stand and out we try to run, looking for rest, looking for remedy, yet almost always, frail as we are, we end up looking in places that only lead us to tragedy. We run to the people influenced by the enemy. We run to the world where everything is futile and temporary. Then we finally realize that we've been running our own marathon, a marathon with no finish line, because nothing here could ever keep us content. Weary, oh so weary, thoughts drowning in anxiety, heart sinking in misery. Every one of us gets to this point, to the point where one says, please, I can't take this anymore. We cringe, we break, we crumble, we fall apart, each piece of our being all tattered and torn apart. In the days of old, the days of David, one tears his robe, and in his sackcloth he pleads, and as in agony he parades. But these days no sackcloths are worn. No one wants to be out and about pleading, for he'll be called nothing but a weakling. Instead, we dress up and make up and go out on masquerades. We start drawing up the curtains because we've been told that life is a stage. But we begin our acts as puppets, since it's to the strings of our masks we're attached. Out to the audience we look like as if we're full of life. But inside each piece is breaking and dying, hiding in the pit of darkness, born of the regrets of the past. How sad. How sad it indeed is when one, out of desperation, struggles to put on a show, masquerading so as not to be deemed weak, not to be labeled feeble or inadequate, not to be called names like puny, timid, or useless. How sadder it even gets when one never realizes that there is only one pair of eyes he needs to please, one grand audience whose only voice and opinions he needs to heed, and one whose eyes can clearly see past through one's pierced heart and shattered soul, beyond the mask, beyond the pit, beyond the darkness, beyond the person attached to the strings. Weary, oh so weary, from the nights of lying awake, from the endless days of going on the world stage. We keep grasping for air, smothered by the pressures of pretending, suffocating from the mask we're wearing, strained by the strings of effort and control we're carrying. Does this act, this play, ever reach its finale? Will the curtains ever go down on this theatrical show? Have not people ever heard of what's been told thousands of years ago? Have not people ever known how David, the greatest king that ever lived, bared and rested his soul, his oh so weary soul? If it's rest we yearn, know that there is only one true source. We need only to surrender. Surrender to God all that's making us fall short. It's only in God we find our rest and peaceful repose. Believe David when he said that when we dwell in the shelter of the Most High, we will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. He will make us lie down in the greenest of pastures. He will lead us beside the stillest of waters and restore our ever-troubled souls. God is willing to lift us up out of that slimy pit, and in our hearts put a new song. And praises we will sing. He will give us rest and comfort in the shadow of his mighty wings. Believe the prophet Isaiah when he said that when we hope in the Lord, he will renew our strength, and we will soar on wings like eagles. We will run and not grow weary, and will walk and not faint. Believe the bravest and boldest of Christ's servants, Paul, who after all the sufferings he bore entered into God's rest and found it. What Paul said still stands to the present. Let us enter into God's rest and make every effort in doing so, that none of us will ever fall. And if these ain't enough, believe Jesus, the Son of God, Jesus the true and always faithful to his promises, Jesus perfect and holy in every way, Jesus the one who gave his life for you and bore your sins. Believe him when he said, come to me, all you are weary, and I to Him, come as we are, broken and burdened. No pretensions, and despite the hesitations, come to Him with all your burdens, guilt, doubts, and questions. Are you still weary? Still drowning in misery? Still attached to the strings of your own effort and the mask you've been wearing? Come to Jesus and surrender. It's only in Him you'll find rest. Only in Him where your worn out soul can find its true repose.